Hi guys! Fox's last X-Men movie, New Mutants, is finally here. After many delays, was it worth the wait? Let's find out! New Mutants is directed by director Josh Boone and stars Macy Williams, who plays Rain Sinclair, also known in the comics as Wolfsbane. We got Anya Taylor-Joy, who's playing Illyana Rasputin, also known as Magic. We have Charlie Heaton, who plays the character Sam Guthrie, also known as Cannonball. We have Alice Braga, who is playing Dr. Reyes. And then we have Blue Hunt, who is playing Danielle Moonstar, also known as Mirage. And last but not least, we have Henry Saga, who's playing Roberto de Costa, also known as Sunspot. First, I want to start out with, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so you don't have to worry about any spoilers. So what is the plot of New Mutants? The plot of New Mutants is 5 young mutants, just discovering their powers, are being held in a secret facility against their will and must fight to escape their past sins and save themselves. So going into New Mutants, I definitely was super excited. I'm a huge X-Men fan. Pretty much the X-Men animated 90s cartoon was my childhood. And overall, I've enjoyed the X-Men Fox movies. I know they definitely have a lot of problems and a lot of people don't like them, and I can see why, and I can definitely agree with some of the problems. But overall, I've enjoyed them. Also, this movie combines 2 of my favorite things. Superhero movie plus horror. So you combine both of those, I'm in. So my overall opinion of this movie is, it was okay. First, I'll get into what I liked about this movie, and then I can get into what I didn't like about the movie, which unfortunately, there's more in what I didn't like about the movie than what I liked, but let's get into it. So I would say my favorite thing about this movie definitely was Anya Taylor-Joy's performance as Illyana Rasputin. She killed it in this role. I would say anytime she was on screen, she stole the show. She definitely was the strongest actress, and yeah, her acting was, I feel like, the best. One, I loved her character. I feel like her character definitely was full of attitude in the best possible way. And she also had really, really cool powers and cool fight scenes. So she definitely stole the show for me. Also, I really did enjoy Danny and Rain's friendship. So you kind of see them kind of grow and become friends throughout the movie, and you see them exploring that friendship. And it was definitely something different and something we don't really typically see in superhero movies. So I will say I enjoyed seeing that on screen. Also, you could tell this director was a huge Buffy fan because there's a couple times in the movie where Buffy is playing on the TV in the background, and specifically Buffy season 4. And this isn't a spoiler, but in the trailer you kind of see the smiley face people. And those smiley face people are totally influenced by the gentleman in Buffy season 4. They totally remind me of the gentleman and definitely are creepy like the gentleman as well. So I will have to say I enjoyed them a lot, and I enjoyed that reference. Also, this movie I feel like really picks up in the 3rd act. So once it's in the 3rd act is when the movie's at its best. Definitely I feel like I enjoyed those fight scenes a lot the most. And that's when you got the most action, and that's when I was really into the movie, was that 3rd act. So what didn't work for me? I would say what didn't work for me was it definitely took a long time. I would say the first 2/3 of the movie was really slow, and there's a lot of backstory. There's 5 students in the movie, and we get a backstory on each student, and it just took a lot of time, I feel like, to get through it. And then each student, you kind of explore their fears. But the problem was it wasn't really scary. So as far as it being like horror, it didn't really do it for me. And I wasn't scared. So I feel like if they would have really went there and made it more creepy or made even more jump scares, maybe then it would have been more interesting. But because it was kind of slower and the scary scenes didn't really work, it just didn't work for me. Also, I had a problem with Dr. Rey's character. One, she just really didn't do it for me. The first thing I would say is she's the only doctor who works at the facility. So the kids are trapped. They're trapped in this force field, so they can't leave, and Dr. Reyes runs it. and they pretty much do anything that she says. She bosses them around and is really holding them trapped there. But she's the only one who works there. So I thought that was really odd. And she just didn't really... She just wasn't scary or evil at all. I feel like if you made her a character where you knew not to cross her, if you cross her, these are the consequences. And she didn't, I never felt that from her at all. And I just don't really know why the kids were even listening to her when they have all these really cool powers. Granted, she could do like this force field power, which keeps them trapped. But there's a couple times in the movie where they actually drug her. So they drug her or she falls asleep. I don't know. If they really wanted to get out, I feel like they could easily just take her out since she's the only person there. I just think the movie would have worked better had there been other people in there to kind of enforce the rules. Because it was only one character, it just didn't really work for me at all. Also, there wasn't that feeling of hopelessness that you would feel in a mental institution. If you're trapped in a mental institution, you really need to capture that feeling of hopelessness. Side note, American Horror Story Asylum does this really, really well. When those characters are trapped in that asylum, you really feel that, like, whoa, this would be awful to be trapped like this. And you had the sister who was enforcing the rules where you didn't do the rules, there was consequences. And that's why you're going to follow the rules, because of these consequences. The movie didn't do that. So I think that was one of the movie's biggest weaknesses, is just them really... I feel like that feeling wasn't there, and that is what we needed. So on a scale of 1 to 5, I probably would give this maybe a 2.75. I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't that good. It definitely had... I kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to be that good based on what you're hearing before the movie and all of the delays. But yeah, it wasn't that good. Overall, I'm still happy I went to see it. I love X-Men, and this is definitely closing a chapter for the Fox movies. And I'm excited to definitely see what Disney does with the X-Men in the MCU. Out of any characters that I think from this movie, do I think any of the characters deserve to join the MCU? I would say Illyana's character for sure. Her character definitely stood out to me the most. I would love to see her in the MCU. Maybe Reign's character as well. I think they definitely could do more with her character. I did like her character. And I know Maisie Williams is a good actress, so I feel like she would do great in the MCU. But yeah, overall, that's my that's my review on New Mutants. If you're an X-Men fan and you want to see the movie, I definitely recommend it. If you're not an X-Men fan, this is something you can wait. It's definitely something you don't have to rush out and see right away. But if you want to, I say go for it. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on New Mutants? Are you going to go see it? If you do go see it, or if you don't see it, please leave comments below and let me know what you think. Thank you.